So yeah, so anything that we can talk about in our human experience, we can describe in 4 ways, basically. So let's say anxiety. Let's use anxiety as an example, okay? So what is anxiety in the realm of the psyche? All right? I mean, shit, God damn it, you know, that female thing, fuck, boss, work, bills, pay. I mean, you can imagine, right? In the psychological realm, anxiety has an expression. It has an experience, right? We experience anxiety in our psyche. Well, what's it like in our biology? Well, we have a thing called an endocrine system. Your endocrine system has all these glands. These glands are responsible for producing certain hormones. So when you're in an anxious state, your body's being signaled, hey, we need more cortisol and we need more adrenaline. A, because we need to produce more energy, so we need to break more glucose down into, glycogen into glucose in order to create usable energy. And B, we need more motor functions. We're going to need dopamine. We're going to need to be able to run and do all these crazy things. And so there's a biological representation of anxiety. There's an energetic representation of anxiety. When we get into electromagnetic pulses and neural pulses, I mean, the way these things fire, you can measure it. That's how these EEG bands work, you know, when you hear about beta waves, alpha waves, delta waves, theta waves. I mean, all they're measuring is energy. It's electromagnetic energy. And energy vibrates a certain way. And if it vibrates like this, we call it one thing. If it vibrates like this, we call it another thing. It's the same shit. It just moves differently. And so anxiety can be represented as energy as well. And then environment, right? We're social beings. We're part of a social environment. The environment affects us, and we affect the environment. If I'm anxious right now, I'm doing weird things, it's going to affect all of you. I guarantee it. You are going to have a response because of me. So my anxiety will ripple through this room. Does this make sense? So which leads us to the next thing is, what does interconnected and interdependent mean? I just used the anxiety example. What if I use an opposite? So what if in my psyche I felt elation? Like, fuck, that thing, it worked. Oh my God, it worked. Life is like, everything's going to be great. There's going to be a biological response to that thinking, to that thought, to that experience. Something in my biology is instantly going to respond to all this, this joy, this gratitude, this, so forth. There's going to be a response to my energy. If I was hooked up to a little EEG scanner, if I was in an MRI, you would see my patterns just go, whoa, shit, something happened to that guy. And also in my environment, right? The people I'm around, the social interactions, as well as what I'm giving off to the environment. So it's all interconnected, interdependent. It doesn't necessarily mean that the psyche is dictating everything, because it can also go the other way. If something occurs in your biology, and suddenly you're feeling low energy because you're not drinking enough water, you don't know why, that's going to affect your psyche. So this is why we say it's interdependent. It goes both ways. Information flows 2 ways. Right? Is this making sense? So it's not to say that the mind just affects the body. It's to say that the mind affects the body and the body affects the mind. They're interconnected and interdependent. It goes both ways. Still with me? Yeah. Cool. And so when we talk about the mind specifically in the layer of the psyche, there's attributes that we can talk about. There's things that we can say. We can put them in little buckets and we can say, that's a thought, right? I think we all are on the same page now what a thought is. So that's a thought. That's an emotion. I mean, what's an emotion to you? That's energy emotion. Like, what does that mean to you? Yeah, sensation, like a sense. Yeah. It's like there's something physical about it. It's like, it's not, it's real, it's tangible. Yeah. Like there's like dynamic, it's change, there's movement. I mean, what's the difference occurs to you between thoughts and imagination? How do they differ? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like thoughts might be one part of the brain active, but imagination seems to involve something else because it's a different sense, different experience. And perception, Barbara, how would you visualize what perception means to the mind, to the psyche, sorry, to the psyche.
It sometimes feel like a perceive in the body,
Mm.
not necessarily explain. So it's like you perceive. So if you don't think about it, you just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how it is.
I mean, even like it doesn't even have to be the body. Like it's the light coming in from the room. It's me standing next to you. You're taking in information that's not you, you know, and it's something external, but your brain is figuring out what to do with it. And so, yeah. So again, like, I mean, I guess this is a redundant slide, but it's just trying to say that we're really trying to like hone in on this very important concept that's called focus and concentration. It's not redundant because concentration is a very important theme in what we're going to be doing next. Concentration, the way I'll use it, is control over attention. Okay, so what do I mean by attention? Well, attention is kind of like this spotlight, right, that we can point to different things. So if you're looking and listening to me right now, your spotlight's pointed at me. But sometimes it goes between me and maybe your thoughts. Maybe you're like, I don't know what you just said. So you just start going through your morning and whatever, right? Like, so your spotlight's constantly moving and it's constant change, right? This is your attention. This is your focus. There's different kinds of focuses, believe it or not, right? It's not always so simple. And so we use two very specific types. One's called converging focus. It's just narrow focus. Narrow focus means, hey guys, look at this. You need to narrow in on what I'm talking about. Or if I talk about your body, think about your left hand right now. What does your left hand feel like to you? I don't know, that's a weird sensation, but you have to narrow in on it, right? Open focus. That's now expanding out. So it's like, okay, become aware of everyone in this room right now. I mean, you have to kind of like, okay, everyone at the same time, all right? Like things start to shift differently, right? Your awareness opens. Awareness opens and it closes, opens and it closes. And we can use this in our meditations, in our breathwork practice. And so we're going to practice it. That's our next exercise.